Zhuge Liang is one of the most celebrated generals in Chinese history. His skill as a strategist is so revered that some people even believe he has supernatural abilities. He was the famed strategist of Liu Bei, a warlord from the Three Kingdoms period, which lasted from 220 to 280 AD. Zhuge Liang was an orphan, born in Shandong. He later moved to Jing province, in the center of China. He became friends with another intellectual there, called Huang Chenyang, who offered his daughter to him as a wife. He described her as being ugly and yellow-faced, with a dark complexion, but said that she had an intellect that matched his. Even after this not-so-flattering description, he decided to marry her, which shows how he valued talent over appearances. He lived in relative seclusion before being approached by Liu Bei. But even then, he was known as Wulong, which meant Crouching Tiger. Liu Bei was advised by Sima Yi, who was a friend of Zhuge Liang, to seek the help of the Crouching Tiger. He originally wanted Zhuge Liang to visit him, but he was told that he could not demand he visit him. Instead, he would have to go and visit Zhuge Liang himself. Upon meeting him, Liu Bei would have been faced with a man in a Taoist robe, holding a fan in his right hand. It took a total of 3 visits before Zhuge Liang was willing to work with him. Zhuge Liang now presented Liu Bei with the Long John plan. This was his plan for Liu Bei to take over the country through military force. It involved conquering Jing and Yi provinces that were governed by Liu Bei and Liu Zhang respectively. This would make him one of the major warlords in China, turning him from a weak lord to a strong one. Liu Bei and Zhuge Liang became very close and engaged in long discussions on current events and their future. Zhang Fei and Guan Yu were irked by this and complained to Liu Bei. Liu Bei told them that now he had found Zhuge Liang, he was like a fish who had found water. After learning this, they stopped complaining for now, but they never fully accepted him. They were all still living in Jing province, but in 208, Liu Bei passed on and was succeeded by his son. He surrendered to Cao Cao immediately, causing Liu Bei to flee. While escaping, he was caught by Cao Cao's forces, which resulted in the Battle of Changban. Liu Bei was travelling with a few thousand soldiers and escorting 100,000 civilians. Cao Cao caught up to him with 5,000 elite cavalry. Liu Bei escaped with Zhuge Liang and some of his generals, abandoning the civilians, most of which were captured by Cao Cao. Zhang Fei stayed behind and blocked Cao Cao's path by destroying bridges along the river. After surviving this battle, Zhuge Liang sent his man Lu Su to talk with the state of Wu with the goal of forming an alliance. Zhuge Liang was able to meet with Sun Quan, the Lord of Wu, and made 2 suggestions. He suggested that if he believes he can defeat Cao Cao, why not ally with Liu Bei and do so? If not, he might as well surrender to Cao Cao now. Zhou Yu was Sun Quan's strategist, and after he pointed out weaknesses in Cao Cao's army, Sun Quan agreed to fight. Cao Cao spread word he was marching with 1 million men to seduce them into surrender, but it failed. In reality, he didn't have that many, but he certainly outnumbered them in a way that should have meant total defeat. It was a naval battle at the Yellow River, a terrain that Wu were very familiar with. Cao Cao attempted to increase his navy's stability by chaining ships together so they would sway less. The Allied forces took advantage of this by initiating a fire attack. The fire spread with ease because of the chains connecting the ships. Cao Cao escaped by the skin of his teeth, but he lost his opportunity to unify China. Cao Cao retreated to Ye province, and Liu Bei was given 3 commanderies to govern. Liu Zhang of Yi province asked Liu Bei to reinforce him. Liu Bei agreed, but secretly plotted to take over the province himself. He left Zhuge, Guan Yu and Zhang Fei in charge of Jing province. His plans went awry and he was discovered, leading to a war between them. Zhuge Liang and Zhang Fei left to reinforce him, leaving Guan Yu to defend Jing. In 214, Liu Zhang surrendered to Liu Bei and ceded Yi province. Liu Bei, after a lot of convincing, now declared himself emperor of the Shu Han state. This was a response to Cao Cao's heir, who had declared himself emperor after usurping Emperor Zhang's throne. Guan Yu, who was guarding Jing, was attacked by Wu. After conquering Jing, they executed Guan Yu. Liu Bei grew ill and later died. On his deathbed, he told Zhuge Liang to assist his son and heir, Liu Shan. But he also said that Zhuge Liang was 10 times more talented than himself, and that he should usurp the throne if he felt it was necessary to achieve their dream. Zhuge Liang was eventually put in charge of all state affairs, and essentially ruled the state. He planned to conquer the north, Cao Cao's region, in a large-scale invasion. In order to do that, he would have to subjugate the southern tribes who had been rebelling. One of the 4 main rebel leaders was Meng Huo. They thought that they would be able to convince him to work for them willingly, if they could convince him of their might. To achieve this, Zhuge defeated him and then released him, a total of 7 times, to guarantee his genuine surrender. Now he wouldn't have to worry about them while invading the north. Zhuge Liang initiated 5 campaigns against Wei, all of which failed except for one. After the loss of Jing, invading the north became an uphill battle and a logistical nightmare. It was an impossible task even for him. His expeditions were halted time and time again by Wei strategist Sima Yi, who as a strategist could match Zhuge Liang. Zhuge Liang's expeditions were wrought with supply difficulties, and he retreated multiple times because of this. Although Zhuge Liang failed in invading Cao Wei also failed to invade Shu Han. In 230, during the 3rd expedition, Cao Rui tried to launch a large-scale invasion of Shu by linking up with Sima Yi's army. However, this invasion failed because the way had been blocked by heavy rainfall. In 231, during the 4th expedition, Zhuge Liang fights Sima Yi at the Battle of Mount Qi. Zhuge Liang orders a retreat when his army runs out of supplies. In the 5th and final expedition, Zhuge Liang fights his final battle with Sima Yi at Wuzhang Plains. Zhuge Liang led 60,000 troops out of Ji Valley and camped at the southern bank of the Wei River near Mei County. Food supplies were his top priority and his biggest worry. His supply lines were overly stretched and supplies weren't always able to reach the front line in time. He ordered his troops to begin growing crops on the south bank of the Wei River, with the civilians living there. He also forbade them from taking the civilians' crops for themselves. Sima Yi made camp near the Wei River and said that if Zhuge Liang is brave enough, he'll move out from Wugong County and head to the eastward mountains. If he moves west to the Wuzhang Plains, they will have nothing to worry about. During this battle, Sima Yi was able to predict what Zhuge Liang would do time and time again. He predicted that he would move towards Wuzhang Plains. He also predicted that he would try to take the plains from the north bank of the river and send Guo Hai to defend them. The Wei forces received word that Zhuge Liang was planning to attack the west, not the north, and so they wanted to strengthen their defences there. Guo Hai realised it was a trick and was proven right when the Shu forces invaded the north in the night. Since they were expecting it, the plan failed. Zhuge Liang retreated back to Wuzhang Plains. At Wuzhang Plains, they were in a stalemate. Sima Yi did not have permission to attack, since the Emperor wanted a war of attrition. Zhuge Liang was being sustained by the crops he was growing, so they were in a stalemate. During the battle, Zhuge Liang died due to natural causes, but Shu kept it hidden. The stalemate lasted for 100 days, until Sima Yi discovered that Zhuge Liang was dead, and the Shu army had already retreated. Upon discovering this, Sima Yi remarked that he was a rare talent in this world. Before Zhuge Liang died, he appointed Zhang Fei to succeed him, but Zhang Fei was more interested in domestic issues. Although his dream was never achieved, his legacy lived forever in film, video games, and stories.